Okay, so we all want that forever love, don't we? That feeling that lasts. But sometimes we chase that initial spark, that uh, intense chemistry,
Hmm.
and maybe miss what really makes a relationship stick.
Exactly. Many people think love itself is like the ultimate glue,
Yeah.
but there's compelling research, like a psychologist highlighted in Forbes, suggesting one trait is even more vital.
And it's not just about that spark. I read somewhere, maybe Wikipedia quoting Neil Clark Warren, that chemistry often just predicts, well, more chemistry.
Right. It can even blind you to some pretty big incompatibilities down the road.
Ah.
So today, our deep dive is really about unpacking that crucial trait, self-awareness,
Mm.
and looking at how that, plus understanding our attachment styles and some, practical communication tools, build something truly lasting.
Okay, self-awareness. Let's start there. If it's not just love, what does Forbes mean by self-awareness in a relationship context?
Well, put simply, it's intentionally trying to understand yourself, your thoughts, your habits, your feelings, and crucially, how all that affects your partner and the relationship itself. It really boils down to self-honesty first. Because if you're hiding how you truly feel, that creates this internal clash. Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that leads to inconsistencies, actions not matching words, and ultimately it erodes trust. There was even a recent study, 2025, I think, in social psychological and personality science,
Mm-hmm.
that found being honest, even when it's really difficult, actually leads to more satisfaction.
Yeah,
And it motivates positive changes.
honesty, even when it's tough.
Okay.
But knowing yourself is one thing. Staying calm when your buttons get pushed, that's another story. How does self-awareness help there?
That's where it becomes like a superpower
Right.
almost, against those knee-jerk reactions.
Right.
Self-awareness helps you recognize those moments when some old insecurity flares up because of something your partner did or said.
Instead of just lashing out.
Exactly. You can name it, okay, that's what this feeling is, and choose a better response.
Yeah.
There's another study, 2024, linking high self-control, which is basically emotional regulation,
Right.
to more stable relationships. And this self-understanding also helps you set boundaries.
Boundaries, that's huge.
Yeah. Knowing what you need to feel safe and communicating that without feeling guilty, it helps prevent that slide into codependency or resentment. A 2022 study really highlighted that.
So self-awareness is internal, but relationships are about connection, right? What about our fundamental needs within that connection? I know attachment theory talks about this.
Absolutely. That work, like from UNC's School of Social Work, frames adult love as an attachment bond. It's about having a safe haven, someone you turn to for comfort and a secure base, someone who supports your growth. And this need is lifelong, cradle to the grave.
Okay, safe haven, secure base. So when things go wrong, is it because that's threatened?
Often, yes. Relationship distress frequently comes from what's called separation distress. That feeling when you reach out, maybe feeling vulnerable, and your partner doesn't respond in a way that feels sensitive or attuned.
Oof, yeah.
And that triggers these insecure patterns, these secondary attachment strategies.
What does that look like?
Well, one partner might hyperactivate, constantly seeking reassurance, maybe becoming demanding or anxious, while the other might deactivate, shutting down, pulling away, avoiding closeness. It creates this really painful push-pull dynamic.
Like those examples, George and Diane, or the burnt toast tango.
Exactly. Those cycles of protest and withdrawal, often stemming from some past hurt or attachment injury. But the really hopeful part, these patterns aren't fixed. They can be reshaped. Therapies like EFT help couples see the cycle and create new, more secure ways of relating.
That is hopeful, knowing you're not just stuck. Okay, so we understand ourselves better, we understand attachment. Now, the practical stuff. How do we actually communicate better to build that deeper connection?
Well, one really powerful idea highlighted in psychology today is focusing on making your partner feel truly known and affirmed.
Known. How so?
It turns out your response, when your partner shares something personal, showing genuine interest, maybe even delight, is actually more impactful for attraction and satisfaction than you just sharing about yourself.
Wow, okay, so it's about how you receive them.
Precisely. And a huge piece of that is validation.
Which doesn't necessarily mean agreeing.
Not at all. It's about genuinely trying to step into their shoes, understand their perspective, and respect their experience, even if you see it differently. Keeping Kempo describes levels like just being present, mirroring, so you felt X, empathy, and this sounds really hard, even normalizing it based on their past.
So you're actively showing them, I see you, I get it.
Yes. And when conflict does happen, because it will,
Oh, it will.
The advice from places like Better Health or National University is pretty consistent. Use I statements, I feel hurt when, instead of you always.
Right. Avoid the blame.
Actively listen. No interrupting, open body language. Stick to one issue at a time and try to assume good intentions. It prevents things from escalating so quickly.
And avoid those famous four horsemen.
Definitely avoid the four horsemen. Criticism, contempt, defensiveness, stonewalling. Yeah, try not to be an apocalypse writer in your own relationship.
Easier said than done sometimes.
Tell me about it.
But it's not just about managing conflict, is it? You can actively build connection, too.
Absolutely. Creating those small rituals, maybe a daily check-in, a regular date night, and consciously practicing gratitude, noticing and acknowledging the good things your partner does. It reinforces the positive.
So, bringing this all together, what's the big picture for you listening?
Well, sustaining that deep connection, it's clearly more than just relying on initial feelings fading, isn't it? It really requires deliberate effort. That self-awareness we talked about, understanding yourself, understanding and nurturing those core attachment needs, and then consistently using those practical communication and conflict skills. And think about this. If doing this work, building this informed, intentional connection, can lead to stronger bonds, better health, maybe even physically change how our brains respond to comfort and stress.
Yeah.
What's one small step you could take, maybe even today, to bring a little more self-awareness or understanding into your most important relationship?